Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, we start?
Yes, sir.
हम्म, तो कितने लोगों ने ज्वाइन कर लिया? ओके। हाँ, आप जो है ना भाई, एक बात मैं बोल रहा हूँ, ये आप अपना जो है, अपना फ़ोन जो है ना, आप इसका वीडियो ऑन रखना है सब बच्चों ने। मतलब इट शुड बी लाइक क्लासरूम, ठीक है? बीच में अगर मैं क्वेश्चन पूछता हूँ तो यू शुड रिस्पॉन्ड। ऐसा नहीं है कि आप अपना फ़ोन पे ज्वाइन करके कहीं और काम पे लग जाए और हम यहाँ बैठे रहें आपसे। ठीक है? समझ में आ रही मेरी बात?
Yes,
जी
sir.
सर।
हम्म।
Yes, sir.
नंबर वन। नंबर टू, मैं आपका वो जो है ना अटेंडेंस भी कर लिया करूँगा। ठीक है? सीआर ने ज्वाइन किया है आपके? सीआर ने?
वो सर अभी नहीं किया।
सीआर को बोलना जो है हमें अटेंडेंस अपनी करे, स्क्रीनशॉट उठाए मुझे भेजे। ठीक है? तो शुरू करते हैं फिर। सो वी शैल बी स्टडिंग a course on universal algebra. Okay, so what is universal algebra actually? Universal algebra, universal algebra. Okay, so universal algebra, so universal algebra, so it is a branch of, it is a branch of mathematics. It is a branch of mathematics. It is a branch of mathematics, or you can say field of mathematics, that studies that studies the the properties common properties, or you can say properties which are not common, properties which are not common in various various algebraic structures. For example, for example, groups, rings, lattices, so on so forth. Okay, so these are all algebras. From our point of view, these are all algebras. Group is an algebra, a group is an algebra, a ring is also an algebra, lattice is also an algebra. Okay, so these are all algebras, because later on we would going to give a common definition of an algebra. we will define what do we mean by an algebra, and these groups, rings, lattices, and so on and so forth, they would all lie within the parameters of that very definition. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. And we will start with lattices actually, because lattices are actually, you can say, lattices, you can say that in the study of common properties of algebraic systems, lattices have an essential role to play. Okay, so we begin with the lattices. We begin with lattices as some of the properties some of the properties which unify or otherwise distinguish distinguish one class of algebra from the other, one class of algebra from the other, lattices enter an essential and a natural role. You can say that lattices play an essential role. So lattices are important in two ways. In the first way, they themselves form a class of algebras. ये खुद एक क्लास ऑफ अलजब्रास बनाते हैं। पहली तो इनकी ये प्रॉपर्टी है। दूसरी ये प्रॉपर्टी है कि चूंकि हम अलजब्रा को एक जनरल फ्रेम वे में डिफाइन करेंगे, तो जो डिफरेंट क्लासेस ऑफ अलजब्रास होंगी, जैसे ग्रुप्स, रिंग्स या और कोई क्लास ऑफ अलजब्रा, so there are properties which unify these classes or otherwise which distinguish these classes of algebras. These lattices, they play an essential role. They are the important class of algebras. Is it clear? So there are two ways to define a lattice. First approach is to define it as an algebraic system having some binary operations on a set, and the other way, the alternate approaches come via the posets. First define a partially ordered set and then define the supremum, infimum, and the other definition of a lattice. And ultimately we will see that both these definitions they are both these definitions of lattice, they are equivalent, means one implies the other. So I will first define, I give the algebraic definition of a lattice. So lattices. So definition. So definition one. So a non-empty set, a non-empty set, a non-empty set L together with together with two binary operations together with the two binary operations, this cup and cap. Cup is read as join. Read as join, and cap is read as meet, and meet respectively. On L is called a lattice, is called a lattice if it satisfies the following identities. If it satisfies the following, if it satisfies the following identities. If it satisfies the following identities. So first set of identities L1. So in L1 you have two parts. A, it says that X join Y is same as Y join X. Okay, this I mean equality relation here. Okay, so X join Y is same as Y join X. Similarly, X meet Y is same as Y meet X. And these laws, these L1 laws, they are called as commutative laws. Commutative laws. L2. So A part, X join Y join Z is same as X join Y and then join Z. Similarly, X meet Y meet Z is same as X meet Y meet Z. And these laws, they are called as associative laws. Associative laws. Okay. L3. So A part, X join X is same as X, and similarly X meet X is same as X. These laws, they are called as idempotent laws. Idempotent laws. L3. L3 is idempotent laws. And finally L4. It says that, so A part, it says that X is same as X join X meet Y, and B part says that X is also same as X meet X join Y. So it is sort of absorption property. So it is called as absorption laws. Absorption laws. Absorption laws. So these are the four laws that are being satisfied. So a non-empty set L together with two binary operations of meet and join, of join and meet, Respectively, it is a lattice if it satisfies the four identities, four laws. So L1 is the commutative law, means the meet of join operation commute and meet operation also commutes. L2 is the associative law of meet and join respectively. L3 is the idempotent law for meet and join, and L4 is the absorption law. Okay, so any non-empty set having these four laws, we call it as a lattice. Now, few examples of lattices. So examples. Okay. So examples. Let L be the set of propositions. Let L be the set of propositions. What do we mean by a proposition? A proposition is a statement which is either true or false. है ना? If you have a little bit of knowledge of a logic, a proposition is a statement which is either true or false but cannot be both. Which is statement which is either true or false but cannot be both. Cannot be both. So let L be the set of propositions, means it is a set of statements which are either true or false. Let this cup denote the connective. So you can connect any two propositions by conjunction or and. So let join denote the connective or, means suppose I have two statements. One statement is A and other statement is B, and I take A cup B. It means what? It means either A is true or B is true. Either A or B. So this denote the connective or, and this cap meet denote the connective and, means whenever I have A this B, it means both A and B are true. Both A and B. Both A and B. Okay. So this is or, this is and. Then L1 to L4 are well known properties of these propositional logic. Then L1 to L4 are well known properties of propositional logic. Propositional logic. So thus the set of all propositions is a lattice. Thus L is a lattice. So these properties are verified for this set L, means x or y is same as y or x and y is same as y and x, and these other properties. Okay, so therefore the set of all propositions with respect to these connectives R and it forms a lattice. Now let us take uh, one mathematical example. If you take, so example 3, if you take the set of natural numbers, so let L denote the set of natural numbers, and let this join the cup denote the least common multiple, the least common multiple, and this cap, the meat, denote the greatest common divisor, the GCD you say, the greatest common divisor. That is for any, so for any A and B in L, A this join B equals what? Least common multiple of A and B. And if you take this cap, it is greatest common divisor of A and B. Then again you can verify the properties. L1 to L4 can be easily verified for L. Then the properties L1 to L4 can be easily verified. And thus L is a lattice. Okay. Now there are many more examples of lattices. You can go on in this fashion to discuss many examples, but for the moment we stop here and we come on to define to give the alternate definition of a lattice. So before introducing the second definition of a lattice, we need the notion of partial order on a set. So before introducing the second definition of a lattice, we need the notion of partial order on a set. We need the notion of a partial order on a set. So we need the notion of a partial order on a set. So just let me define. So it is definition fourth. So a binary relation, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So a binary relation denoted by this less than or equal to, defined on a set A, defined on a set A is a partial order is a partial order on the set A if the following conditions hold identically on A. If the following conditions means the following are satisfied, you can say the following conditions hold means the following identities are satisfied or inequalities are satisfied, you can say hold identically on A. First, A less than A should be related to A for every A in A. So this property is called as reflexivity. This property is called as reflexivity. Second, A less related to B and B related to A imply A and B are same. A is equal to B. And this property is called as antisymmetry. This property is called as antisymmetry. Third, A related to B and B related to C imply A related to C, and this property is called as transitivity. Transitivity. So this is the definition of a poset. A poset is a set equipped with a binary relation such that the binary relation is reflexive, antisymmetric, and transitive. And if in addition if in addition for every AB in A, this property is satisfied. Fourth one, A related to B or B related to A. Then in this case, we say that this partial order is a total order. So we say this relation less than or equal to is a total order on A. It is a total order on A. So a poset with respect to this total order is actually called as a so a non-empty set with a partial order on it is called a partially ordered set. A partially ordered set, or more briefly a poset, or more briefly a poset. And if the relation is a total order, then if the relation is a total order, so then we speak of a totally ordered set. We speak of a totally ordered set or linearly ordered set, or sometimes we call it as a chain or a linearly ordered set. linearly ordered set. Okay. Moreover, so in a pose set A, in a pose set A, we use the expression A strictly less than B to mean A is related to B, but A is different from B, but A is not equal to B. So strict inequality means that A and B are related, but they are different. Okay, so this is the definition of a pose set, or more precisely a chain. Now examples of pose sets. So examples, first, if you take the set of all subsets of a set A, so let SUA denote the power set of A. Denote the power set of A means the set of all subsets of a set A. Then this inclusion relation, this is a partial order, is a partial order on the set SUA. In fact, it is not a total order, which is not a total order, which is not a total order, because for any two sets there can be no relation between them. Moreover, second part, let A be the set of natural numbers. Let A be the set of natural numbers. Natural numbers, and let this relation less than or equal to be the relation divides, be the relation divides means any two element are related. A is less than or equal to B if and only if A divides B. Then this is a partial order on A again, which is not a total order. Then this relation is a partial order on A, which is not a total order, which is not a total order on A. And you can have the examples of total orders also. For example, if you take the set of real numbers, so let A be the set of real numbers, and let this less than or equal to be the usual ordering, be the usual ordering on A. Then this is a total order on A. Then this less than or equal to is a total order on A. So these were some of the examples of pose sets and their Okay. Now, few more um, basic definitions. So, let A be a subset of a poset A. So let A be a subset of a poset P. Let A be a subset of a poset P. So an element P in P is an upper bound for A, is an upper bound for the subset A if A is less than or equal to P. A is related to P for every A in A. For every A in A. Moreover, an element P, small p in P is the least upper bound, is the least upper bound of A. Least upper bound are also written in short as LUB, also called as, sometimes we call as the supremum of A, or supremum of A, supremum of A. If first P is an upper bound of A, if P is an upper bound of A, okay, and secondly, and A less than or equal to B for every A in A implies P is also less than or equal to B. P is less than or equal to B. That is to say that P is the smallest among the upper bounds of A. That is, P is the smallest among the upper bounds of A. The upper bounds of A. Okay. Similarly, we can define what it means for P to be a lower bound and a greatest lower bound or infimum. Similarly, we can define